Hi, Jackson back with you at Song Mentor, and a lot of you will not know the name Paul Pena, but Paul had an unrecorded LP that just never ever got off the ground. One of the songs on it was a song called Jet Airliner, and Steve Miller liked it when he heard it, courtesy of his record producer, and put it on the 1977 LP Book of Dreams, and the rest is rock and roll history. The song reached number 8 on the charts. The riff is a little bit reminiscent of Crossroads, Eric Clapton and earlier Robert Johnson, so you can kind of get that feel out of the signature riff in this song, which I guess isn't signature but slightly borrowed. In any event, a great rock and roll classic song from Steve Miller. Here's Jet Airliner. You know, sometimes it's fun to watch the old videos of Steve Miller and these guys playing these songs originally, so you can see where they played them. And this is one of those songs where, as a guy gets a little bit older, Steve Miller, myself, all of us, we lose a little bit of range in our voices, so the capo comes off or drops down here to play certain songs. This song, I believe, was capoed in the studio, and so we're going to try and put it where it belongs, on the 3rd fret, capo on the 3rd fret, and I'm going to show you the chords. And they just sound right. All the little riffing and chording sounds right with the capo on the 3rd fret. I mean, we could do this and just open, take the capo off, and you can move it wherever you like, but I think we'll try and do it where it belongs. Jet Airliner is a 3-chord song, so here are the 3 chords you need. You need an A chord, a D chord, and what I'm going to call a power G, which is basically an open G major chord, but what I'm doing is adding the 2nd string, and in this case normally would be the 3rd fret, but in this case it's the 6th fret. I'm going to add my pinky to the 2nd string 6th fret and flatten that out so it covers 2 strings. And that's a fuller sounding chord. I call it a power G. Okay, so again you need the A, the D, and the power G. Now how we play those and how we work with those is the key to this song. So when we're playing the A, lots of times we're playing. So I've got the A covered there, but I'm basically more or less playing an A5 chord, which is just emphasizing the 5th and 4th strings, with the 3rd finger hammering on and off at the 7th fret. Okay, for the D chord I can do the same thing. I can just move that down move my finger down to cover the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings, and now do the same thing with the 3rd finger. So kind of playing A5, D5 with the hammer, A5 with the hammer, D5 with the hammer. If I want it to be a little bit fuller, I can actually play the D chord and use my pinky to do the hammering on the 7th fret. Okay, and then I'm also going to have this other style that's going to enter into the song, which is a strumming thing, and I'll show you that in a minute. And that means when I play the G and the D and the A, I might do some strumming with them like this. Okay, so we'll get to that strumming pattern, and we'll get to the picking pattern for those 3 chords. Okay, so just before we get to the verses and the strumming and the intro to the song, let's talk about the very intro of the song, which is that signature riff. And it's played like this. Now this is really a 2-guitar operation here, because we've got the and then the riff. So I'm going to play that once at the beginning, and then after that it sort of overlaps with the riff, so we won't be able to keep going back to it unless I develop an extra hand here somehow. But this opening is just using my 3rd finger on the 6th fret of the E string, pick down on it, Pick down on it. It's fairly, you attack this fairly hard. Down on that, and then the A5 chord, which is, again, picking down on the 5th and 4th strings with my first finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. So, and looking at it from this hand. So we'll do that once, and then the little riff takes over, and that's it there. Okay, so 2nd fret, 3rd string, open, 2nd fret, and then open again, 2nd, open, 2nd, open, and that's just to open, hammer, open on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and you use your 3rd finger or 2nd finger for that. So it's okay, and that takes a little bit of practice to get. Sometimes you miss that little triplet because you got to kind of hit that right. I missed it there. Okay, it goes from so the intro again, putting it together. So let's look at the 3 different ways, the 3 different things that are going on as far as picking and strumming during that whole intro. Once I get by those 4 intro licks, then we've got the and I've already covered that a little bit, so that's just a straight down pick. And sometimes I suggest muting during songs. This song is completely the opposite. These are really open, ringy plays. Like, we want this to chime. There's no muting at all. We don't want none of that. Nice and open and ringy. Okay, then we get to the strumming. So let's take a look at that strumming pattern. There's a little, sometimes a little triplet in there at the beginning. Slow down. Now, one final thing that he does, and he does this through one of the bits of the intro, is he does an arpeggio that goes like this. So during that arpeggio, you're picking individually the 4 strings from 6, 5, 4, 3 on the G chord, and then the 4, 3, 2, 1 strings on the D chord. And that's the little arpeggio bit. So putting those 3 together, and we can now put all those pieces together and duplicate the intro. You're going to have to listen through this because it's really quite, there's an extra measure put in the middle of it. It doesn't change when you expect it to. So I'll play through it, and then you can rewind it as many times as you like and play along with me. So here's me just about to head into the intro, and I realize there's one little thing I didn't show you, and that's he does this little off-time chord thing. And that's just D, A, D, D, back to the riffing. So watch for that. Alright, now let's do a playthrough on a verse. And what I'm going to do is put all the little instructions on the screen about what style you should be playing as the verse progresses. So here we go. Verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even on out on the road, I've been down before. Riding along in this big old jet plane, I've been thinking about my home, but my love light seems so far away, and I feel like it's all been done. Somebody's trying to make me stay, you know I gotta be moving on. Whoa, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I got to stay. Alright, fine tuning for Jet Airliner. For me, two things come to mind. One is just getting the right sequence of different little bits that you're using, whether you're using the arpeggio. Now it's not written in stone, and I'm sure if you watch Steve Miller play this over the years, he might do little bits at different times, so it's not critical, but if you want to play the song the way it was in the original recording, then listen to it several times, and I've given you those 3 bits and just put them in the correct places. And the second thing that comes to mind isn't really a guitar playing issue, it's a vocal issue. And if you're planning on singing this song, pay careful attention to his voice, because he is one of the most unique singers in terms of where he takes his voice up and down. I found the most difficult part about preparing this lesson for you was trying to get the vocal right. And needless to say, I didn't get it perfect, but it's very, very difficult singing to do it his way. And again, if you just want to play Jet Airliner and kind of sing along and sing it your way, that's fine too. So details. Steve Miller's a more intricate artist than one would think to believe. The song seems simple, but in the playing and the singing, they're not necessarily that way. Hey, there you go. Jet Airliner, the Steve Miller Band. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.